hey, Colin, start this initiator offense. How has he gotten better?
Yeah, I mean, Colin is somebody that we're trying to use off the ball a lot, but he does have a skill set that allows him to bring the ball up. I thought in last game in particular, there were a couple of moments where we wanted to get Keontae off the ball. Trey Jones was doing a really good job of pressuring the ball kind of three-quarter court, and it was slowing up and disrupting the rhythm of the offense early in the clock. So, it's one of the luxuries of having multiple guards on the floor that can handle the ball. Colin is, his understanding of our offense has grown a ton since he first got here. I think with that, I understand Colin better than I did when he first got here, and so it's about trying to put him in situations to be successful.
What are the benefits of having Keontae off the ball? Is it just like so that you can do like catch and shoot stuff and move off screens a little bit better?
Yeah, I mean, weirdly enough, Keontae's never played point guard until he got to the NBA, so if you ask Keontae, it probably feels more natural to be off the ball, but he has a skill set that allows him to run off of screens. We've done some stuff out of the corners for him. We've sent him off a few flares, but he knows how to play without the ball, and then once he does, playing pick and roll or kind of some of that get action with him has been good. I'm trying my best to help Keontae mold into a lead guard, but I also recognize that as we continue to move forward, I can't forget about the other parts of his skill set, because that flexibility is always going to be something that's important to me, and so I'm trying to do a better job as we close the season of finding some opportunities for him to be off the ball.
San Antonio's go ahead.
I'm thinking about John specifically when I asked this question, but it could apply to many other players. Like in your time seeing players around the league, how much does just being in a new environment sometimes help?
Yeah, I think it can help in a variety of ways. I think in any relationship in general, I think like storylines become ingrained, and you start to have preconceived notions about what somebody can or can't do, and those develop over time. I think John coming, to us, for example, there's plenty of data and film that would try to inform you on what John is really good at and what maybe areas of limitations are. We've tried our best to put him in positions that he's comfortable in, but also engage John in some of the conversation where when you go to a new place, sometimes it's nice to be able to sort of tell your own perspective of like, hey, I didn't get to do this as much maybe, but I feel pretty confident that I can help in this way or help in that way. So yeah, I think change of scenery, it has its good parts. It's also hard. You get a rhythm with people. It's not just about the on-court part, but there's so much that goes on behind the scenes in an NBA team. The people that you're interacting with every day, those relationships become really strong, and so all of that newness can be really hard too.
I just want to follow up on that. If there's a storyline that's developed this season about John, what do you think it has been? What's been the new storyline?
Well, I think John has a wide-ranging skill set offensively. I think if you take last game in particular, John ticked and popped for the majority of the game against Wembanyama. I think when people think of John, they think of him, quick rolling, slipping out, getting behind the defense and catching lobs. That's a really short-sighted view of John. Anybody that watched him play the year that the Hawks went to the Eastern Conference Finals, like you saw that wide-ranging skill set. But again, there's context to everything. It's not that whatever happened with John was good or bad. It just had to do with the context of the group around him and who he's playing for. And we're just trying to do our best to, use John in a way that makes the most sense for our group.
San Antonio is a struggling team, but you guys seem to play well. And I guess my question is, how do you evaluate kind of how you play against a bad team when that they were making mistakes, like turnovers, for example, right? Some of that's just San Antonio doing things that a young team does. Are you watching film? Are you using any metrics that are kind of independent of an opponent's strength? Like, how do you kind of figure out whether a good performance is for real?
I wish everybody was that emotionally neutral when we lose to a good team.
Fair.
But we don't get that benefit. So, yeah, I try to make sure that the team sees pictures of them doing things well. I think it's that's how I like to teach. I think showing like, hey, this is not what you want to do. This is not what you want to do over and over again. There's moments where you do want to show pictures of like, this is what it should look like. This is what it looks like when you do it properly. But yeah, like I recognize there's certain possessions in the game that weren't necessarily something that we did, but that happens in any game. There's times that you play really great defense and guys make incredible shots, and it's like that doesn't mean that it was bad defense. Charlotte, for example, I thought offensively we had some really good moments and just couldn't make a shot. Did that mean our offense was bad? I mean, on paper, yeah. If you only watch the box score, but if you watch the game, it's like got a bunch of good looks, didn't make any of them. So I think a big part of our job is to help the players navigate some of the emotional response that comes with winning and losing, and try to give them as calm a picture as possible of like, this is what happened, this was good, this was bad, and like almost try to eliminate the result from the play.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.